Today I'm here with Jess Garland, artist, educator and activist. Welcome, Jess.
Thank you.
I always ask all my guests on the show, how do you introduce yourself at a party when people ask who you are?
I usually tell people that I play the harp first. For me, it's not really rare, but for a lot of people, it really is.
What motivates you?
Really being out in nature, honestly, and just living life. Really just coming out to places like this, coming to Fair Park. It's my neighborhood, and I need to come up here sometimes for a break from my busy schedule.
Where do you start when you've got a song idea in the writing process?
I have like a ritual and a practice of journaling daily. I do something called morning pages that I got from reading a book called The Artist's Way, which is like
Cameron.
yeah. So I actually just started back doing my morning pages, and really forgot how much magic comes from that, I just started back doing it. I've already written another song, but now I wasn't planning to. I'm going to write a song on this day, and this is going to be the subject matter,
I'm just going to say before we move on, I recommend the morning pages and reading Julia Cameron's book, and it's not just for artists, although it's called The Artist's Way. I think if everybody in the world started doing the morning pages, I think the world would be a better place. So,
I agree. I think a big part of it is like everybody knowing that they're a creator as well too, and if everybody can look within themselves and know that they are a creator and that they can create something, everybody can create something. Everyone can make something. If you were making dinner every day, you're creating something. If you're putting together your outfit, like you've got your hat on, color coordinating, you're creating something.
But again, congratulations on the single. I've listened to it a few times, and I think it's really something you have to deep listen to. To really get it. And I did that again this morning before coming here, and I was like, so kind of sorry about that, all that pain, but that is entertaining. It makes you feel something.
Right. A lot of people really didn't know didn't guess what that was inspired from. And again, it's bigger than what happened to me. It's really just about, and it's the same thing with resurrecting Gaia. And I do try to challenge different goddess or divine feminine energy a lot, because that's what I am as well too. You have to go through things in life you have to go through things to be able to grow, And so while there was a lot of pain, I definitely was able to transform myself through that. And I'm going to go through something else that's going to get me to where I'm trying to go, or the next level. Even though it's somewhat somber, it's meant to be, the sun glow is meant to be triumphant as well too.
Well, I hope we can get this out before the end of the year, because that kind of feels like an anthem for 2020. Like what kind of it's been sad.
The force in the year.
You've got
What I'm trying to say is change and transformation is it's not beautiful. I would say it's probably never beautiful. It may look that way to the eye, but it's really it's not even the outside, it's the inside of what you're having to that's the transformation, It's ugly. That's what I'm saying. Change is ugly.
So because we're kind of like a creativity and lifestyle show, are you happy?
Just in general, yes. Yes, it's this year has been really difficult. I'm not gonna lie, it's been difficult for a lot of people, and I'm hoping that this year people had the opportunity to look within and find purpose.
So let's talk about Swan Strings.
Swan Strings is a nonprofit organization that was established in January in 2019. I've been teaching guitar in Dallas for 15 years. And with the last 3 or 4 years focusing in the nonprofit sector. So in 2018, I went to Arts Mission Oak Cliff and started doing free guitar lessons over there. Kept doing a lot of crowdfunding, and I realized that it was what kind of a huge need that it was for what I was doing. And so ultimately decided to become a 501c3, and now I have 3 teachers that are assisting me. We're currently offering 5 online guitar classes. I'm bringing back the virtual harp class.
So what's success to you?
That's a great question, because I feel pretty successful. But because to me it's not about the money that I make, because it's not a lot. But it's that I've been able to put myself out there, that I've been able to create something. That's success, right? That I can do something, that I can create something, that I can work on my craft, that I can put something together, that I can compose something, and then from there that I can put the project out. Same thing with teaching, that I'm able to, like, I know a lot of musicians and artists that they are just musicians and artists and they are not educators, you know, and they tell me all the time, like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I don't know how to teach someone how to do something. And I would just describe success as to have a talent and to be able to create something and do something and put it out there. And then people respond to it, you know.
I introduce you as an activist. Is that how you see yourself in any part, or?
I only just started kind of thinking about that more recently. I feel like I've always been that way, but I didn't really think about it until I started thinking about the projects and organizations that I'm involving myself in, you know. I've always been outspoken about things that are not right, and even as an adult, you know, working in certain corporate and other nonprofit settings, kind of going back to success, I'm grateful that I can have my own brand and my own organization so where I can do my own things, because a lot of companies are rooted in old thoughts and principles that continue the same cycles that we're seeing every day. I did a project last year called Their Lives Mattered that was at, it was premiered at Texas Theater. It was a collaborative project that I did with Fatima Hirsi, who's a poet, but she also works with Mothers Against Police Brutality. And that was a grant from the city of Dallas as well too, where we went out to places all over Dallas where people had been killed by law enforcement, to talk to just everyday people about how they feel if they knew the name of this person who was killed, you know, on this in this block or on this corner or whatever. And how was that process? I imagine that might have been difficult. You know, like, there are certain people that don't believe or choose to not believe that there is police brutality, you know. I've had particular stories and or situations in my life that there was a one point in time where I wanted to be an attorney, but there were some things that transpired in my life to where I just didn't want anything to do with law enforcement at all, and try to figure out a different way to get involved with policies in the community to bring about change, which is all I ever really wanted to do, you know.
Is there a story behind Swans?
Oh, that's a good question. People don't really ask that one a lot. The reason why it is called Swan Strings is because, again, going back to transformation, we all know the story of the ugly duckling, you know, which the duckling was never ugly. But but swans, you know, when they're born, don't look the way that they turn out, you know. It's really like I compare myself to a swan, you know, like I've transformed and I'm always open to transformation and growth. A recent project that I just got funded for, I am confronting environmental racism in Dallas. And I'm specifically mostly focusing on Shingle Mountain. Shingle Mountain is an illegal dump, and I've gotten to know Marsha Jackson. The mountain is literally in her backyard. She and some of her neighbors are getting sick, you know, because of this. There's really a lot more to that story that I really want to kind of convey, because to me it's deeper than North and South Dallas or Black and White Dallas. I want to tell the story of that people don't listen to Black women.
right.
Because it's the truth. You know, she has been talking about this the entire time, and it's like she's constantly being disregarded, you know. I think it's all the one same message between education, my music, and activism, and it is really just going within and taking care of yourself, loving yourself first, so that you can be able to take care of the people around you.
Jess Garland, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.